The Pool of Siloam in Jerusalem opens after 2,700 years. Could the third temple be built in 2023? And who claims there is a devil inside the Vatican, quote unquote? The Pool of Siloam, located in the southern part of the city of David and within the Jerusalem Walls National Park, is an archaeological and historical site of national and international importance. It was first built around 2,700 years ago as part of Jerusalem's water supply system in the 8th century BC, during the reign of King Hezekiah, as described in the Bible. The Pool of Siloam served as a reservoir for the waters of the Gihon Spring, which were diverted through the underground tunnel, and thus was already considered one of the most important areas in Jerusalem during the First Temple period. It was used during this period as a ritual bath by millions of pilgrims who gathered there before ascending through the city of David to the temple. In 1880, the inscription of Siloam was discovered in a tunnel just a few tens of meters from the pool. The inscription, currently in the Archaeological Museum of Constantinople, which is Istanbul, is written in ancient Hebrew script and tells how the water of the spring was diverted to the pool during the reign of King Hezekiah. This is what the Bible says about it. 1. After such deeds and fidelity, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came and entered into Judah and besieged the fortified cities and thought to tear them away for himself. 2. When Hezekiah saw that Sennacherib had come with the intention of fighting against Jerusalem, 3. Then decided with his princes and with his military men to fill up the springs of water that were outside the city, and they helped him. 4. And a multitude of people gathered together and covered up all the springs and the streams that flowed through the country, saying, Let not the kings of Assyria, when they come here, find much water. A half-kilometer long tunnel was cut in the rock under the city, after which the water began to fill the very pool of Siloam. Over the years, many traditions have been associated with the Pool of Siloam, and since the late 19th century, it has been the focus of expeditions from all over the world. In the 1890s, a group of British-American archaeologists, led by Frederick Jones, Bliss, and Archibald Campbell Dickey, uncovered some of the steps leading to the pool. In the 1960s, British archaeologist Kathleen Kenyon began excavations in the area. In 2004, during infrastructure works carried out by the Hagion Water Company, some of the steps were uncovered. Siloam, Hebrew origin meaning sent one, has an additional special significance. It's mentioned in the Gospel of John as a place in which Jesus sent a blind man from birth to be washed in order to complete his healing and regain his sight. According to the first book of Kings, Solomon, the son of David, was anointed to the kingdom of Gihon at the source, so Messiah will also most likely be anointed to the kingdom there. Additionally, the Siloam pool was used as a supply of fresh water only during the siege of the city. The rest of the time there was a ritual bath before visiting the temple. Therefore, since the Israelis are restoring the pool right now, technically this could have been done many years ago. It means that the temple will soon be constructed, perhaps even at the same time. We foresee, of course, the protests of the Lebanese and Palestinian public, but what can you do? It's nonetheless the end of times. Dark clouds over the Vatican, just a few days after the death of Pope Benedict, and in the middle of an unprecedented conflict, is the interior of the Vatican, as Deutsche Welle reveals. The clash of the two worlds divided into conservative and more progressive is in full swing. The tension is to such an extent that there are even fears of a possible schism. Pope Francis has been known for his progressive views since the beginning of his term and has been described as the Pope of the poor. However, Pope Benedict's decades-long secretary, Archbishop George Genswein, disagrees with his ideas and opinions. In fact, he does not hide his disagreements and criticizes relentlessly the pontiff, Pope Francis. According to the publication, the Archbishop accuses Pope Francis of breaking Benedict's heart when he strictly limited the celebration of divine liturgy in Latin. Immediately after, his secretary and closest associate, Joseph Ratzinger, added that the Argentinian Pope took away a large part of his responsibilities, as well as that he did not listen to Benedict's advice on dealing with the claims of homosexuals and combating the so-called gender theory. Benedict's secretary went so far as to declare that inside the Vatican in the past he found that there was the devil who acted against the Pontiff Emeritus. Francis answered meaningfully that we must worship God and not the false idols that seduce us with prestige and power with the allure of false news. We meet the Lord in humility and silence, he characteristically said. However, the conflict is not only a personal level. After the death of the German Pope Emeritus, Pope Benedict, the ultra-conservative wing of the Roman Catholic Church raised their voices significantly, fearing that he may be put on the sidelines for good. In fact, the discussion about the succession of Francis has opened, and both sides are already preparing their chosen ones. It seems that the conflict will not stop soon, and on the contrary, a new cycle will be triggered, and this because in a few days, his secretary, Joseph Ratzinger, will present his book entitled Only the Truth, My Life Next to Pope Benedict. And this is on Solask. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.